Hi guys, this is Luke, and in this one we are going to use Django with artificial intelligence. So exactly what we are going to do is to create a solution for classifying the digits. In the browser, we are going to write a digit, we are going to approve it, so send it to classification. At the backend, this process will take place, and later we will get the result and compare if the digit that we've written down in the browser matches the actual result. And we will be using Django, Django REST Framework, React, OpenCV, some of the data science libraries, and more. So this series will probably consist of 4 up to 5 parts because there's quite a lot of things to do. We need to create a solution at the front end, at the back end, create a convolutional neural network, and also put all these concepts together. So yeah, let's begin with part 1, the front end. Alright guys, so before we actually begin with this project, I just want to make 2 short announcements. The first one is that the 10th part of the Django social network project will be released by the end of the week. So within 2-3 days, I think I will be able to publish the 10th part. And the second one is that we are going to use Keras for creating the convolutional neural network for this project. So we are going to integrate Django with Keras. And let me know in the comments if you would also like to see a project where we will integrate Django with PyTorch. So I'm very curious if there's a demand on this. Please let me know in the comments below. And yeah, right now we can proceed and get started with our project. So the first thing that I'm going to do is to go to the desktop, because at the desktop we are going to create our directory, which I'm going to call Mnist. And inside the Mnist we will keep folders for the backend as well as the front end, and also we will store over there our files related to convolutional neural network. So let's access this Mnist, and I'm going to create a React app with the command npx create React app, and I'm just going to call it draw app. Okay, so you need to have Node.js installed in order to run this command, and I'm going to press enter. And this might take a while, so we will see each other in a couple of seconds, maybe minutes. Alright guys, welcome back. And the setup has been completed, so we can access this draw app, cd draw app. And let's open our Visual Studio Code editor. And also let's run npm start. npm start. And what did I write? npm start. npm start. And I'm just going to open this up at Google Chrome. Okay, so here is the confirmation that our React app is working. And let's just proceed and head over to the source folder inside of our draw app project. So we won't be doing any cleanups because we want to go straight to the point and work on our project. But over here some files are redundant. But as mentioned before, I'm just going to leave them as they are. And yeah, I'm going to head over to our app.js. And over here I'm just going to delete the header and all its content, so that inside the main div I'm just going to put in a h1 tag with let's classify digits. And now I'm going to save our app.js, and it should refresh automatically, but let's refresh it manually, and there it is. Let's classify digits. Okay, so the next thing is to create inside the source directory a folder called components. And over here, we are going to store a draw.js file. So this is the file that will be responsible for drawing and saving, sending also the images to the database. And before we start working on this draw.js, let's actually install some packages that are extremely important for this project. So over here, I prepared all the things that we need to install. And let's begin with React Bootstrap. So I'm going to head over to Get Started. Here is the comment. And we need to quit the server from running and paste this comment, press enter, and let's wait a few seconds for the setup to be completed. Okay, so we have React Bootstrap installed, but there's one more thing that we need, and we need the CSS. So I'm just going to copy this piece of code over here in the CSS section, and we are going to head over to public, find the index.html file, and over here, let's paste it just above the title. So we can actually add a comment that this is React Bootstrap CSS. All right, let's let's close the index.html and let's proceed with React Sketch. So this is a package that will allow us to draw our digits, and here is the installation. So let's just copy it and also paste it in the terminal. Okay, so we have this React Sketch installed, and also let's install File Saver. With File Saver, we will be able to save the digits to our computer that we written down. So it won't be necessary in the next parts, but in this one, it might be useful to simply download the images that we wrote down. Okay, and finally Axios. This is a package that will be used a little bit later, and this is a very important package for the interaction with the database. So we will handle the post request with Axios to send the image to the backend for classification, and then we will use Axios again to simply the result and display it in the browser. So this is Axios, and I think we are done. If I missed something, we will install it a little bit later. So right now what we can do is to, as you can see right now, we have Bootstrap styling, so we have a different font from the one that we had before. And yeah, what we can do next is to work on this draw.js file. So this is going to be a functional component that we will create with the help of React hooks. And yeah, first of all, let's import React from React. And now let's create our functional component, which I'm going to call draw. Inside, I'm going to create a React fragment. So this is going to be the parent component. And inside the React fragment, I'm just going to put in maybe an h1 for now, draw field, something like this. And what we are going to do is to bring this draw component inside of our app.js. So below the h1, I'm going to start typing draw, and yes, I can import it automatically. So as you can see, here is the import of the draw component from components draw. We get this draw component, and now I'm going to save it, and it didn't refresh, so okay, I need to run npm start. Okay, and here is our draw field. So now let's actually work on this draw field, and we will be using React Sketch in order to accomplish this. So I'm going to do an import from React Sketch. We want to import sketch field and tools. Okay, so over here below, actually we can delete this draw field, and we simply need to use our sketch field. And let's set up some parameters. So the first and the second one will be the width and the height, and I'm just going to set it to maybe 800 pixels, both the width and the height, so we will have a square. And the next thing is that I would like to specify a tool. So this is going to be tools that we imported, and we want to use a pencil. The next thing is that we want to specify a line color and the background color. So in our case, I'm going to put in a background color as black and a line color as white. Okay, let me close off the sketch field so it looks nicer and we don't have any errors indicated. And then we would like to also specify an image format. I'm just going to put in JPG, and also we will need a line width. So how thick will the line of the pencil be? Okay, so I'm just going to set it to maybe 60. Okay, and yeah, let's see. Let's save it and see the results in the browser. It's thinking. It's compiling. Okay, and as you can see, here is our field for drawing. So let's actually try to draw something, and you should be able to do it. So pretty easy right now. Okay. But the problem is that, of course, we can't do anything with it. So we aren't able to save the image, and we aren't able to reset the result. So yeah, let's add two buttons for simply, for now, saving the image and also clearing this sketch field. And in order to do that, I'm going to create another div below, not the React fragment, but below the sketch field. I'm just going to give it a class name of margin top 3. So there will be a margin of 3 between the sketch field and the buttons. And over here we need to make an import. So we want to import the button component from React Bootstrap. Okay, and let's put in button with a variant equal to primary, so it will be a blue button. And over here let's put in a save. Later we will change this to send or send to classify, but for now save is okay. And I'm going to copy this and paste it below. So this one won't be saved but reset, and the variant won't be primary but secondary. So this will be a gray button, and we are missing an on-click event. So we will define it just a little bit later. And let me copy this, paste it, save it. Okay, and let's go to the browser, and here are the results. So now we have the save and reset button over here, but the sketch field is on the left. So maybe we can also add a style, and we are going to create another const at the top, and let's call it simply const styles, and inside we will define a draw, and over here we just need to set the margin to be equal 0 and auto. Okay, and now I'm going to put here this styles dot draw. Okay, so we are referencing this constant over here and the draw, which consists of margin equal to 0 auto. So now if we save it, go back, it's thinking, and okay, our field box, our draw box is centered. So right now we can draw, we can click the buttons, but they don't do anything just yet. So the first thing we can do is to actually save the image, and we will do it with the use of our file saver. So let's go back. And over here, what we need to do is to make an import from file saver. So from file saver, we want to import save as. Okay, so we will use the save as, but there are still a couple of things that we need to handle. The first one is that we actually need to create a function in order to save this this image. The second one is that we don't know what to exactly save, because this sketch field is like a part of our project. How can we know that we want to save an image from the sketch field? So we have save as from the file saver. This shouldn't be a problem, but we need to specify that we want to reference this sketch field, and we can do this with a React hook, which we can import, and it's called use ref. Okay, so at the top we can create, somewhere over here maybe, we can create a const called sketch that will be equal to use ref. Alright, and now what we can do is to go somewhere maybe at the top, for example, and we need to specify that the ref is going to be equal this sketch constant that we specified over here. Okay, so the next step is to create a function for handling our on-click event in the save button. So below the const sketch, we will create another one called handle submit. And the first thing that we are going to do is to simply console log something that we will define above, and let's just write down const canvas. That will be equal to our sketch. So let's see what do we have in the sketch saved in the canvas const and displayed in the console log. So now I'm going to simply grab this handle submit and put it over here, and now I'm going to save it and go back to our browser. I'm going to hit the right mouse button and click inspect. I'm going to go to the console. Here we have some warnings, but we won't worry about them right now. So we should delete the logo, and we should use the save as, which is important but never used. But yeah, we won't worry about this right now. Let's press save. And here we have some properties that might be interesting for us. And to be more precise, if we would like to save this image from the sketch field, we should be interested into data URL. So what I'm going to do is to head over to our Visual Studio Code, write down current, because right now we are at current, and I'm going to reference this to data URL. And now I'm going to save it, and I'm going to hit the save button again. And as you can see, we have our image in the encoded in the base 64 format. So this is a big step for us, because right now we can use our file saver in order to actually download the image that we are going to create. And this is from here very easy, because we just need to write down save as, and we need to pass in the canvas, and then we want to simply write down the format. So it can be, for example, digit JPG, and yeah, that will be it. This should work. So I'm going to save this. I'm going to write down, for example, 7. I'm going to save it, and here is our downloaded file. So let's open it up, and as you can see, it works perfectly. So yeah, let's go back to Visual Studio Code and take a look at this second button called Reset. And below the handle submit, we can create another const handle reset. And again, we need to look at our sketch, and I'm just going to write down console log, and then I'm going to write down sketch current, so we can see what do we need to access in order to have this working properly. And then I'm going to bring this handle reset over here. Okay, so I'm going to save the draw.js. I'm going to close this digit JPG, and I'm going to press the reset button. Okay, so here we can look at the properties, and we have something called clear. Okay, so let's try to handle this. We can actually try to make this work with clear. So below the console log, let's write down sketch current and clear, and let's see if this will work. I'm going to save this, write down a digit, and now I want to reset it, and it did work. However, this is set to, I think, default. It's white, so we have a white background with a white pencil, and yeah, this obviously isn't good. So what we can do is to look at the properties again, and somewhere over here we have background color. So let's try to use this background color property in order to change it after clearing to black again. And let's just write down sketch current, and then it was background color, and we want to set it to black. Okay, so I'm going to save this, and again, let's write down some digit, reset, and now it's working perfectly. Okay, so this problem has been handled. I'm just going to delete the console logs. We don't need them anymore. And below the handle reset, let's define 2 additional functions that we will use a little bit later once we have our backend set up. So I'm going to call this send data, and actually we can pass in something. So I'm just going to put in maybe a C, for example, and I'm just going to console log the C, and the C will come from our handle submit. So over here we want to reference the send data, and we want to pass into this send data our canvas. Okay, so we have C as canvas. We are receiving the canvas over here, and we are console logging it in this send data. Later we will use Axios to actually send the data to the database, and later we will also need a function called const get image result, and as the name suggests, it will simply give us the result of our classification. It will take in an ID and it will return something. Okay, so right now we won't be using it. Let's just keep it over here so we won't forget about this function. Let's see if the send data is working, and if it's working, we will finish off in this one and we will continue with the next video that will be all about setting up the Django project. So I'm going to save the draw.js and I'm going to hit, or let's write something down. I'm going to write down 5 and press save, and here is our C. Okay, so this is our image encoded to base H64, and this is displayed over here in this console log C. So as mentioned before, we will work on the Axios in the send data as well as on the Axios in the get image result. In the send data we will use a post request. In the get image result we will use the get request. Alright guys, so I think we are done with this video. As mentioned before, we will continue in the next one. Thank you for making it through, and if you like it, please subscribe to my channel, and yeah, see you soon. Take care and bye bye.